Hi everyone, this is Ronnie from Everything Vive. I'm here at E3 2018, and I just tried a really, really cool demo. I don't even know the name of it at this point. I just walked up and these two gentlemen stuck a headset on my head, and I had a very interesting trip. So I wanted, if you guys could just introduce yourselves and tell me a little bit about what you guys are working on.
Yeah, my name is Daniel Lisi. I'm a producer with Floatland. This is Ben.
Hey, I'm Ben Vance. I'm a lead on this project, which is called VR Screensavers.
Very, yeah, it's a good title for what I just experienced. So, yeah, for the listeners out there, I mean, I basically came up to a desk with an old CRT on it, and funnily enough, a Vive Pro hooked up to it. So they stuck a Vive Pro on my head, and using the AR cameras, you were basically able to map a screen over the CRT. So I was seeing through the headset into the space here, and then on the screen of the CRT were various old school screensavers. A lot of them you'll remember from, is it what, Windows 95 probably, or?
Yes, but we don't want to talk about anything Microsoft related.
Fair enough. So screensavers you may or may not be used to seeing from your past.
That may or may not evoke a nostalgic sense.
Exactly. But yeah, so you're able to flip through all the different screensavers, and you're able to then enter the screensavers using the trigger, and experience these things for the first time in a much different light. How did you guys come up with this idea?
So like all the best ideas, it started as a joke. And we did a little prototype, and it actually was way cooler than it should have been. And it was kind of born out of that idea of what's the most ridiculous thing you could do with VR? Well, you don't really need to save the screen, but it is a very visual experience, right? And I think a lot of us have that memory of just staring at the screen and like, what am I doing right now? But this is so compelling. I'm watching it evolve.
The two for me, like the being in the stars, and then also the pipes. Like those are two things that I feel like I've probably zoned out at screens with those screensavers on, like, or similar screensavers on, like over and over and over again. And so to all of a sudden be in that environment and be like, whoa, that's what it looks like when they're flying through over my head and everything. It was a really cool. Were you guys able to? I mean, just throw it on there and it worked? Like, did you guys? I can't imagine.
Yeah,
that.
I mean, they're all original recreations, and so each environment is its own scene with its own environment that's been built specifically for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're approaching it a couple different ways, but what we brought here is basically a jumping off point. So kind of using some of those references and touch points that you might recognize a little bit of, but that's just where it begins, and kind of using that to expand some of these ideas much more, and then also do some new stuff within that framework.
Okay. And just curious, I mean, here we were using a Vive Pro.
Yeah.
I didn't know, is this an experience exclusive to the Vive Pro, or no? Okay.
No, it'll be on all the headsets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Oculus, PSVR, Vive, it'll be on everything.
Okay, because I was just curious specifically, like in the demo you showed me, you're obviously using the cameras. I don't know if you were utilizing like the different camera that the Vive Pro uses over the Vive, and obviously the PlayStation doesn't really have a.
Yeah, so we're using the pass-through cameras on the Vive Pro as kind of a fun AR installation. We're not assuming that most people will have that.
Okay.
But we still will have a pretty fun kind of Inception style menu system, which is when you load it up, you're going to be sitting at a virtual desk with a virtual monitor, and that's where you'll see the screensavers that you can go into and out of.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll send you a trailer. It shows like a whole other, the at-home sequence that it has.
And how did you guys get into VR? I mean, is this the first time that you guys have dabbled in it, or did you?
Ben invented VR. That's not true. It's partly true.
It depends on what you mean by invent. But I actually did work in VR in college, which was like late '90s, early 2000s. So I kind of old school, but also got.
Where'd you go to school? I'm just curious.
Iowa State University.
Okay, very cool.
So they had a cave system, 6-sided cave system there that was pretty bonkers. Anyway, that was ancient history, super cool, but impossible to access for any normal person. So I got into video games after school, and then started using the Oculus once the Kickstarter came around, like 2013. And actually, so we're here at Indiecade's booth here at E3, and that's actually kind of what got me back into VR, because they were showing Oculus stuff here at E3 in 2013.
Okay.
And they were looking for projects, and I had one. And so I showed a very early version of a project called Irrational Exuberance, which is...
that sounds very, very familiar to me. And
if you've been in VR, you've likely played it.
Yeah.
You've probably played it. It was it launched with the Vive as a free kind of teaser download. It's like a 5-minute experience. I'm working on the bigger version of it.
Remind me of what the game is like, because
you're in space, but you start kind of enclosed.
I love this. Okay, I very much know what you worked on, and it was a very, very, very memorable experience for me. And that was one of, I mean, early on as like a Vive early adopter, that was one of the experiences that I showed people right away, because it's a very emotional, like very like I said, it's something that it's hard to describe, and it's something that's gives you a very specific type of feeling in VR. You couldn't do it any other way, so that's awesome.
Because of Ben's experience, I think in video games, it's really informed what not to do in VR, and to treat VR as its own medium, especially when it comes to immersive mechanics. It's been something that Float has been very thoughtful of in developing all of these experiences, and I think is why VR Screensavers was even thought of to begin with, is these very simple, very beautiful, immersive elements that we can do and really introduce anyone into a VR setting with that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, as far as finishing up has it been released yet? When's it going to be released? Do you know?
VR Screensavers?
Yeah.
We're shooting for a July release.
Okay, and as far as, I mean, obviously, like what I tried here, I was more just like experiencing the Screensavers. Will the finished product be more of that? Will it be different mechanics that I didn't get to try, or like what?
Yes.
Okay, all of that.
There's a bunch more features. So, I mean, some of the Screensavers are just inherently very simple, right? Like the star field, we don't want to mess with that too much.
Yeah.
And keeping it, just kind of pure in a way. But there's also, once you get in there and start interacting with some of these, they start to suggest possibilities that would be really fun. It's not a game, but it could be these interactive elements that would be really fun. Like, I can change the visuals by grabbing them and throwing them and like starting to like really work with the space. And also, I mean, personally, I'm really excited to bring back, the settings and the options for every screensaver, right? So bringing back the options panel, so you could go in any screensaver you're in, you can bring open the options and all the sliders and customize it and see what happens when you start to like push the limits of all the parameters, and give you this way of...
So I should have spent some more time in there, I think.
Yes.
Well, you'll soon be able to at any time you want to.
Okay, awesome. Well, yeah, like I said, I just happened to stumble across your presentation here, and I'm really happy I did, because, yeah, like I said, I really like your past work, and I'm excited to try more of this. So
thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, cheers.